Why is it so loud? Is it loud? I can't tell. I'm just gonna lower it a little bit. All right, cool. Hey, what's going on, y'all? We're gonna talk about what's happening with One Punch Man in comparison between the webcomic and the manga and the series. So what we can agree upon is that the anime is going to be just like the manga. I don't think anything's going to change there because they just don't want to stray from the story. Of course, just like with any other anime manga, unless they make a whole new spin-off, which I think would be cool. A One Punch Man spin-off could probably work out really well if they use the same quality of animation, of course, and just about every other aspect of quality. Yeah. Anyways, so the webcomic is kind of different from the manga from what I've noticed. Like, for example, I don't think Garo really has that much of a talk with Saitama, and the manga series has included new characters, more characters, and ones that we didn't think would come back, like Boros, or someone that looks just like Boros and might not be him. But the point is, the webcomic is actually straying away from the manga. The webcomic spends no time in how much time the manga spends on certain things. For example, the fight between Saitama and Geru, yeah, most of it went pretty similar, but Geru doesn't stick around with Saitama and reason with him. He just leaves and tries to find his inner peace in a waterfall. So it's kind of like, what's going on here? Why is this different? Why is the manga changing from the webcomic? And Blast having his own team, they're on their way back to Earth. It really just shows that there's gonna be like a big difference between webcomic and manga that's gonna probably continue. With how much they've set up so far, definitely. And I wanted to pull up this discussion thread so we can look at it and talk about what people are noticing that's different between the webcomic and the manga. He recently read the webcomic up until the MA arc, and yeah, are complaining about, yeah, I could see why too. It's not enough that we've seen, and I can completely agree because the webcomic has some really intense scenes that we're not even shown yet, and the manga's kind of lacking behind for sure. So if you want to see more One Punch Man content that the manga will soon follow, definitely check out the webcomic. It is a real treat if you can get past the horribly drawn panels. A lot of comments saying the fight is over like it's a fact, and I'm a little conflicted on what to think of that. He's probably talking about the fight between Saitama and Geru. There is another big fight in the webcomic that, from what I've last seen, was pretty huge, and I wish the manga would already be there. And it's not far after what we're looking at now in the manga, so I don't know what's going on here. Might be hearsay for the sub, since the start of the fight are generally better, more accurate. Okay. I think they're both pretty similar, and that's not going to change much. The changes in the arc were really good though. Like, the tournament was good. The Orochi fight with the centipede in the helicopter, Garo fighting him, that wasn't in the webcomic. Orochi just dies. Like, that's it. The Blast reveal was, of course, very hype. We finally know who Blast is, how he looks like, what his intentions are. Basically all around, we know all about him for the most part. He could be like an interdimensional villain, I guess, but so far he cares about humans and he cares about the Earth. So far so good there. Fear Ugly was an awesome and genuinely terrifying villain. Yeah, I liked it too, but they spend so much, like the chapters in the manga don't cover that much or at a fast enough pace compared to the webcomic. Webcomic is like blowing through everything, not too fast, like just enough. And I wish the manga would consider that, but it doesn't. So we're just gonna, let it be. Let's see here. Oh yeah, the triple samurai team, and they get wrecked by the heroes, the villain association. Yeah, that was a really cool add-on. I really like that. I think it's gonna add some more content for the animated series, and they really are adding a lot of anime content. I don't know if the anime is gonna take all that in, gonna skip some parts, maybe. I really do think that they're gonna be saving their money when they can, so they will skip some things in the manga. That's just a given because there's a lot that they're putting into this manga series, dude, compared to the webcomic. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, it didn't stick to the original source material for sure. It's just way different. It's actually like kind of crazy how different it is. I hope that, so there's a fan-made webcomic for One Punch Man, hopefully with better drawings, because the webcomic is just not it. It's still enjoyable, like you can see kind of what's going on, but some panels are like, okay, am I on like 20 years in the past looking at a video with major pixelation? Because it is hard to understand what's going on at times, and even harder to know what's gonna happen next. The storytelling is good, no doubt about that. Love it. I want the manga to get back on track with the webcomic, but I'm also loving what's happening right now. Like Blast is on their way with his team, going to check out the Earth. Garo might get wrecked. We'll just have to see. I just know that Saitama doesn't align with Blast in terms of values. I feel like Blast will take matters into his own hands, doesn't care what Saitama says, but Saitama's the biggest hero, so it's hard to say what's going to happen next. And it's even harder when it's going to happen, because I would love for the manga to keep track on its routine with releasing chapters, but we all know how that's working out. Overall, really hype. Seriously, I can't wait for all this to be animated. I think they're going to stick to the manga exactly, even though it's a lot of content. And Boros is probably still alive. We'll just have to see. And who else doesn't want to see Tatsumi and Saitama fight, bro? I'm waiting for that day, because they always butt heads. Tatsumi doesn't like anyone, and much less Saitama. So it's gonna be pretty exciting to see what happens next. I'm actually really enjoying it. When is the next season coming out? Because I'm really looking for it. Oh man, this manga is irredeemable garbage. Yeah, I kind of agree on, no, I don't agree on it, but I understand where he's coming from, because that pacing is just not it. The content, yeah, awesome. But the pacing, they stop so much at scenes, and it's like, bro, we get it, move on. But it's like, no, I have to draw this panel, and it's just like, come on, man. We're clearly disagreeing here. I hope the manga series authors listen to the audience in some ways. Like, come on, man, like, you know what we want, and you are providing it in some ways but lacking in others. Lots of mixed reviews about the manga. Really hope that it gets animated to its highest potential though, and we'll just see where it goes next from here. The worst thing about it is the time that we have to wait, bruh. Major bruh moment on that, just thinking about it. Kind of crazy and kind of a bummer, but it will be worth it. And I think that the anime is going to catch up to the manga, and then the anime is going to override the manga. Maybe. Depends on how much content the webcomic puts out. Although, unfortunately, now that I think about it, the content that is implemented in manga and not in the webcomic is going to make the anime series go off the manga instead and wait for the manga. So we're all going to be waiting for some chapters to come out, and we'll just have to see what happens. All right, well, appreciate you watching. Catch you on the next one.